What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. So I'm here with a special guest. Some of you may have met him before, but those that haven't should probably meet Kevin. We're going to be talking about the most profitable renovations that you could be doing anytime you renovate a property. This could be whether or not you intend to flip it or you're buying something for a rental. This is probably what's going to end up getting you the highest ROI. And let's get right into it. I think number one would probably be the kitchen. And the kitchen doesn't need to be something that's overly expensive. You don't need to spend $50,000 on a kitchen, but it does make a huge impact. And from what I've experienced, the kitchen is really often the selling point of any home, whether you're renting it or trying to flip it or sell it.
In today's day and age, it's really the central point that everybody goes to in a house where everybody's hanging out in the kitchen and what's adjacent to the kitchen. Family room and the dining room. That's the heart of the house. The rest of the stuff can be hidden behind walls. Oftentimes people focus on remodeling the kitchen before even like the master bath because nobody's really looking at the master bath anyway.
I agree. Especially now, the number one thing a lot of people are doing is really opening up the kitchen, and that's like the easiest thing to do. And that's the basic renovation. It's just like, let's open up the kitchen.
Start with the walls.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Start with the walls, and then number two, I would say, would probably be the cabinetry.
Oh yeah.
And if you're someone like Matt McKeever, your market doesn't necessarily need brand new cabinetry. You can often just paint the cabinets that are there. And oftentimes that's just good enough.
There are some great examples that you can see online where people take old 1960s, 70s oak cabinets and they either spray paint them white. The best color is usually like a Swiss coffee semi-gloss, got a little bit of sheen to it and just enough pigment so you can really cover that oak well. And some other people, now they get into these gel stains where they can turn these old original cabinets, a little bit of sanding and then a gel stain of gray or dark espresso color.
Yeah.
People look like they get these custom cabinets and all they've done is transform the color of old original cabinets. Now they don't have to fix the walls behind them. They don't have to replan the whole kitchen. There's a lot of labor in installing the kitchen in itself.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Even things as small as little handles.
Oh my gosh,
and
poles,
things like this.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so easy. And this is something fun to do too. You get to go to Home Depot or really anywhere and they're like 50 cents to $2 each. It's the easiest thing you can ever do, and you can even do it yourself.
That's right.
With a screwdriver.
Oh my gosh. And match the hinges while you're at it. So all of a sudden, take the doors off, light sand, paint them, put new hinges on when you go to reinstall them anyway. You're doing the same screwing anyway for the hinges.
Yeah.
May as well screw on the $2 hinges and put a nice new one in.
Yeah.
Now you've got a classed up kitchen for very little money. Some people say, oh, I've got a house that's worth $80,000. Why would you spend 40 grand on a kitchen remodel, which some people do, when you can get away spending $2,000, $3,000 painting and updating the hardware and look at the kitchen cabinetry, and you get just as far almost.
And one other thing that's really important too, I think, are countertops. And this is something that often dates a property, and it doesn't need to be very expensive to redo them. And I've noticed too, some imitation, they're countertops, but they're imitation stones or whatever they are, look just as good as the real thing. Like visually, from a foot away, you can't tell. Until you actually get up there and touch it, do you realize, like, wait a second, this isn't real marble.
But the doopy part of it is doopy. I don't even know if that's a word. But people touch them and go, hey, is it stone? Like, it's like they're in limbo. Like, I don't know. Maybe it is. Like, oh, what's Caesar's stone?
And then you just gotta say, could be. I don't know.
It ain't tile and doesn't have grout lines, so it's good enough for me.
But some of those things too are more durable, like marble stains.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things. You set a wine glass down, it has like a little wine ring at the bottom.
Or a pizza box. Oh my gosh, on granite all the time. You gotta seal that stuff every year.
Yeah. Even like quartz is just like, I think I spent like $8 or $9 a square foot on that quartz, but it's white and you put anything down on it and it leaves just like this nastiness of just this dirt.
And knowing Graham, you got a good deal on that quartz. Sometimes people spend like $50 a foot.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's crazy.
So no, get the less expensive stuff. Nobody cares, especially because I think both of us always advocate, you're not gonna be living in the place forever. Turn it into a rental in the future. Yeah. And why do you want to leave your tenants with some high-end Brazilian marble or Italian granite or quartz or whatever? Who cares? Just go to the local granite yard and get something cheap.
I agree.
Number two, flooring. And especially because you're thinking in that long run mindset that eventually this property is going to be a rental, or maybe it's a rental out of the gate, don't spend so much on flooring. The best kind of flooring you could really get right now is not like a hardwood or some expensive porcelain. It's something that's easy to install and relatively inexpensive, and that's what's called luxury vinyl plank. It's essentially just like a laminate, or it looks like a wood, but it's scratch resistant and waterproof.
And don't go too cheap. on the
Yes,
flooring.
that's true, too.
I ended up making this mistake on my first property I ever got. I got this laminate flooring, and I got it because it was on sale at Home Depot from like $1.29 down to like 99 cents.
You bought something on sale?
But anyway, the floor looked amazing and it was super cheap to install. And I was able to do floors on like 1,800 square feet for next to nothing. The problem was that after the first tenant, you would end up like spilling things on the floor, and when it came time for the tenant to move out and another new tenant to move in, the floors are kind of like peeling up on the sides.
The edges.
And you couldn't find replacement little bits for this, and I ended up just redoing the entire place for slightly more expensive laminate flooring.
And the hard part is install. It's the labor. That's what kills you on the projects.
That's how bad labor is. You're like, and the labor. Just throwing up.
Right. Oh, I hate labor.
That labor.
Oh no, really? I mean, look, you could spend $2,000 on the material, but then you've got the time the property's not available to be rented. That's costing maybe $100 a day, and then the fact that people got to install it. The other thing with this vinyl plank flooring is it's great for pets because pets have accidents, and that stuff is waterproof and like scratch resistant. So I'm really into that stuff lately.
Yeah, and with that too, carpet is one thing. That was one mistake I ended up making. This was one of the triplex I bought. Ended up doing carpet in the bedrooms because it was at the time a few $100s cheaper per room, and I think we had 4 rooms that had to go in, and so I figured like, okay, we can save like $800. So I went carpet, but one of the tenants ended up moving out after a year, and the whole carpet needed to be replaced. And it became more expensive. So at that point, I was just like, you know what? You got to put in laminate.
And that carpet gets so nasty too. You have to go in there with like a really thick glove and kind of like.
Yeah. So just go laminate. Honestly, just a decent, good quality, cheap laminate will make the biggest difference, especially if it's a rental property.
Do you need electrical gloves?
I do, actually. Thanks.
Yeah. You get one.
So number 3, I would say bathrooms. The third most important thing you should focus on anytime you're looking for a high ROI renovation. A lot of people focus on the bathroom. The powder room and also the master bathroom are really important.
People know what a powder room is anymore these days?
I do. Comment down below and let us know if you know what a powder room is.
Google, what is powder room? I'm going to quickly post a blog, what is powder room, so I get those search results.
There we go. But yeah, no, a powder room, just a room for the guests. It's usually the bathroom that just has a toilet and a sink in it. There's no shower, no bath, just a little side guest bathroom. But those things are so easy to renovate, and you can usually renovate a bathroom maybe like $3,000, $4,000. I think I spent $7,000 on my bathroom, and that was everything with a new shower, rearranging all of the plumbing, tile, good, it's not that complicated. And often you can buy almost everything you need on sale at Home Depot in terms of vanities, and they have whole setups too, which is like everything you need.
Get the kit.
The whole kit for like $400, $500, or even like less than that. I've seen them. I bought one for like $80.
Shut up.
Yeah, no, for real.
I don't know where you get
sales at Home Depot. That's what you want to do. They have sales. You just go on a sale day and get whatever's on the clearance item. And for rentals, nobody knows.
That's a really good takeaway, actually, is that tenants, they generally didn't come from a place of being a homeowner. Not always, but oftentimes the tenants, they don't really realize what different qualities are for fixtures and finishes. As long as they look clean, the place is going to rent.
Yeah. I think it's more about functionality,
yeah,
too.
Functional
especially
clean.
For a rental.
Valid.
Doesn't necessarily need to be high-end unless the area demands that.
Yeah,
if you're going in Beverly Hills, do not buy the $80 vanity.
Yeah.
If you're renting anywhere else,
get the $80 vanity.
Get the $80 vanity.
That's true. Even in bathrooms, a trick that you can do is retiling can be a big portion of that $7,000 budget.
Yes.
And so now there are companies that will actually come out and they'll do an acrylic coating, a spray, over all of your tiling that you have pre-existing. So what we've done is on properties that are like getting ready to go up for sale or for rent, we'll take a property that has this 1950s pink tile or like green. Have you seen those avocado green tiles? Those original tiles, and just mask everything off and spray the tile white acrylic. All of a sudden, everything's white, looks like it's brand new, and bonus on top of that, all the grout lines are gone.
Yeah.
Another neat addition for toilets is Lowe's started carrying this Kohler toilet seat. that has this little LED strip in the back of the actual toilet seat, and it lights up the water. And it was $49 or something like that. I'm like, I'm buying it.
You guys, there's gonna be a link in the description, an Amazon affiliate link if you guys want to buy.
That better be my link.
No. If you guys want to buy the coolest light-up toilet seat ever, I'm gonna find it on Amazon. The link is gonna be in the description. Make sure everybody orders that.
From my channel.
From my channel. So number 4, I would say is really important anytime you're doing a renovation, is lighting. And one of the best things you can do, especially if you're buying or renovating like a 60s, 70s, 80s property with a popcorn ceiling, at the same time you scrape that popcorn ceiling, honestly, just put in recessed lighting. It's really one of the best things you can do. And again, it doesn't need to be that expensive and adds a huge amount of value.
Can lights are awesome, especially what I recommend is put them on a dimmer as well. And the best thing you could do, the LED retrofit kits, they're super cheap, like 15 bucks. Put in the 100-watt LED retrofits, which sounds crazy, the 100-watt equivalent. So for LED, they're only like 14 watts. But anyway, those are the brightest ones you can get. And you want to get the ones that are 2700K. 2700K is the color temperature. Those are the ones that look warm, not that cool blue that looks too, doctor's office-y. But anyway, you put those 100 watters in, way too bright for normal use, but you put them on a dimmer, so that way people can dim them to sort of a normal, comfortable level. But when you go to show that property, it lights up and it looks huge.
Yeah.
Cheap, easy, do it.
I totally agree. And while we're on that, also scraping the ceilings. If you get the popcorn acoustic ceilings, just scrape them off.
And use a respirator when you're scraping this.
No, you don't need to do that.
You just inhale.
You just get
a fresh high off acoustic.
Yeah. Kidding about that. Don't sue me for joking. We're making jokes here. Sarcasm.
This is not financial advice.
Not financial advice. Not health-related advice. All right, number 5, I would say, is probably landscape. And this is something I feel like a lot of people overlook because they don't think on a rental or any sort of flip, landscape really makes that big of a difference. From my experience, it really helps set you apart from everything else just to have something that is aesthetically pleasing. And again, this doesn't need to be something you spend a ton of money doing landscape, just something that is clean and presentable. And here in Los Angeles, succulents tend to be extremely popular and trendy, and that is extremely easy to maintain because one of the biggest concerns, especially as a landlord, is that your tenant is going to go and ruin and kill your lawn. And that's a valid concern because most tenants say, I don't care about the grass. I don't want to water the grass. I don't want my water bill to
timer
go up.
Down.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to spend the $30. Dislike, unsub. And the grass just dies. But if you do some low maintenance landscape between gravel, succulent, something that just they cannot kill, is amazing and really helps set you apart and just adds to the character and the curb appeal of the house.
Get the perennials. These are the ones that last longer term. They generally require less watering anyway, and they're hardy for tenants, which hardy and tenants is usually synonymous.
I agree. Yeah. And also mulch. Just you get the cool little wood chippy looking mulch
with
thing.
Weed barrier.
With weed barrier. You combine the two and that just creates magic. It's super easy to maintain and tenants cannot mess that up. So that was 5 tips so far, but I think we're just gonna keep going for the few extra bonus tips. For those that have watched all the way through, you get the advantage of the bonus tips. I would say an extra bonus tip would be moldings.
Yes, especially around doors and windows. It's when you're replacing the floor, usually you put a new base. Something that's really in right now is a 4-inch MDF Craftsman style baseboard. Just Google that 4-inch Craftsman style baseboard. It's very, very sleek and simple. The other trick you can do now as well is carry that molding up around door trims and windows. Really frame those windows in. It's so inexpensive to buy this molding. You're usually looking at 50 to 70 cents a foot. And then it just gets nailed on after it's painted. It's really not that hard. It makes a huge difference. The thing to know as well is cosmetic additions for a tenant, you have to be careful. You don't want to go crazy over improving for a tenant, but giving a tenant something that makes their property feel a little bit more homey and custom, like some inexpensive molding, can actually help when it comes time for that lease renewal and they start shopping around seeing what else is available. And they're comparing to properties that maybe don't have the new hinges and doorknobs or pulls in the kitchen or the flooring or this trim molding, which is all overall relatively inexpensive, that $80 vanity or whatever. But maybe it's just enough to help help them stay an extra year because turnover is expensive.
I totally agree. You shouldn't button the very bottom button though.
On a vest?
Yeah, on a
I thought
vest.
that was only for a suit.
No.
No.
Yeah, little bottom one. There we go.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that. Comment below.
Comment down below. Let us know.
On a suit that is not double-breasted, you leave the bottom button open. I think we both agree on that.
Yes, correct.
On a vest, though,
You shouldn't button the bottom button of the vest.
I'm 90% sure I've never looked that
Well,
up.
let's find out. Comment down below. And if you watch to the end, we're going to reveal whether or not that's actually the case. So as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And make sure you guys check out that light up toilet seat. Link in the description. As is also MeetKevin's channel. Link in the description. But before you check out his channel, just check out the toilet seat. I'll find the best one on Amazon. Also, if you watched it all the way through and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to gently tap the subscribe button. Because the problem, Kevin subscribed, and I'll show you what happened to his phone. It's not looking pretty. Yeah, so that happened when you smash the subscribe button. So instead, just gently tap the subscribe button. Also, feel free to add us on Instagram. I think we pretty much post there daily. So if you want to be a part of it, all the links are in the description. Thank you again for watching, and until next time.